On the last episode of the Event of Events, 11 contestants pitched their dream idea to our panel of judges. 5 contestants were checked out of the competition.
It's a tough decision. It's really tough. We're checking you out of the competition at this point.
And 6 were checked in to the next round.
So congratulations, we are checking you into the next round.
On this episode, the 6 remaining contestants will receive one-on-one coaching from some of Regina's top marketing and event professionals. Contestants will work with the coaches to refine their idea and then present their changes to the judges for a second pitch. They need to convince the judges that they are the event of events.
Going into today's coaching session, we're a little bit nervous. It's not as high pressure. We want to be prepared and we want to be on point because who knows how this is going to affect the outcome, and we want to win this competition, so it's always trying to put our best foot forward.
Hey guys, welcome. Nice to meet you. Yeah, welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah,
I'm Claire.
nice to meet you.
Hi.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
There's a lot of other sort of similar types of events in the city right now. So if I'm from Swift Current, why would I come to your event?
We want to open this up to the whole province. So we want the best bakery in Swift Current to come and represent Swift Current, that area, and maybe win that category for that province. So we want you to come and support that, right? We want you to come and see how they do in the event and also experience the rest of Saskatchewan, see what they have to offer, see how they compare to everything else.
Well, not to beat you up too much, but
Okay.
a lot of those winter things you can do in any Western Canadian city that has ice and snow and minus 20 temperatures. So what specifically about Regina is it that is good, is that differentiating point?
Well, I'd like to have set up spots throughout the festival area that are informational about Regina and fun things to learn about Regina that kids and adults would enjoy.
So for this year coming up, or for your presentation in a week's time, what are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on looking at your location and working within the limitations that you have? Are you ready to just explode and move forward?
I think it's taken a life of its own. We already knew after last year that we needed to re-examine the site, that it had physical constraints that we needed to consider a new site anyway. So definitely we're going to be focusing on the site selection, and then how do we take it that next big leap.
Help me understand a little more about your target market in terms of the folks that would be attracted to come to Regina and go to your event. You thought that through a little bit? And you may, if you haven't, you're going to want to think that through before next week.
Yeah, that's the big one that we kind of just spitballing ideas with, and I think some of our ideas have to do with trying to make it more pleasing for the out-of-town folks to come in.
Have you had conversations with magicians across Canada and how they feel about your event?
Yeah, I have actually. I've spoken with a few different magicians, and they are in huge support of it. They love the idea, and they would love to come out and be a part of the event as far as performing. And the Canadian Association of Magicians is more about the convention side of things, and I had spoken with them, and they definitely would be interested in bringing that to Regina once every, say, 3 years on a rotation or something.
I don't know that I have that much to offer you at this point. Like, you know your market, you know how to reach your market, you've got instant access to your market, you've got your organization down. I guess my question would be, so once you've got that market nailed, how do you grow?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of schools are really affected by getting their first and second years involved. So I think sending one team might be what they do this year. And once they see the benefit of getting these students involved, it'll excite them, and they say, oh, we don't have to plan it. There's already one for us to send it to get them excited about business and competitions and that sort of thing.
I think it went really well. I'm excited. There was quite a few things that they pointed out that we hadn't necessarily thought of, but are very important things to think of. So beneficial, and really prepared us for what's going to come next week.
All right, guys, probably had a pretty big day here, seeing all the groups come through, and just kind of wondering what your thoughts on the day was.
So there were 3 groups that really impressed me in terms of their absorption of what it was that we were giving them. And one that really stood out was Aaron and Serena from the Hill Case competition. They came in so well prepared, but you could tell that they were just soaking everything up. The guys from the improv group were also very receptive to all of our comments, and I think the one that made me the most enthusiastic was the Mustard Festival in terms of their willingness to really take that event to the next level.
You know, who's in over their head? Who's maybe bit off more than they can chew?
Yeah, I think, in terms of a couple of proposals that need the most work, Winter Royale was definitely one of those. It's a challenging concept. It's something that has been tried before, and trying to find a unique niche. The other one was Regina Cadabra. Like, I have a bit of a hard time with the concept. I'm not a magic fan, and I think part of it is going to be convincing you, the judges, that there's really a market for this.
Marsha and Anna, you completed the off-camera coaching with our competitors. How did it go?
There were so many interesting proposals, and we were really inspired by the synergy, the new ideas that came to the table.
I did this as my acid test, Marsha. I was thinking, would I put my own money into something? And so if you were going to put your own money into something, who would you bet on?
The Hill Case competition. I think they're a sure thing. I think they understand what's needed, and this is the second event for them, so it's already been done. They just want to grow.
Since our last presentation, our event has evolved. We've streamlined the Best in Sask event to be an awards showcase taking place over one evening.
When you first walk through the doors of our event, you're going to notice the top nominated vendors displaying some of their products, and attendees will have the opportunity to purchase samples. Halfway through the evening, we're going to kick off our awards portion of our show, and a host will present the lucky winners with a custom-made trophy.
With our strategic marketing plan, we're going to get the word out about our application process. So to become an applicant, a business can either be self-nominated or be nominated by a proud patron.
A vote for Best in Saskatchewan means that local businesses and producers will be showcased on a large scale.
So you think it's going to cost $100,000 to get this thing off the ground?
Well, that we had originally planned for $100,000. We think it's going to be less. Like, we're shooting for that 75 mark is what we're hoping, and we're hoping that we can net somewhere in between 5,000 and 10,000 our first year.
I know when we get a group together, Taste of Spring, we don't stay in hotels.
So when we were talking and planning this event, to be realistic, the majority of our attendees in our first year are going to be from probably within 75 kilometers. But by continuing to build our brand year over year, if we're not nominating a business from Nokomis or Nipawin or Prince Albert, those people will probably never even hear about the event, let alone want to come here. So for us, it's about building that brand and continuing to grow year over year. We just stepped out of the pitch room after talking to the judges, and I couldn't be prouder of my team. I think we highlighted all of our key points, and we really showed the judges all the extra work that we've put in. I couldn't be more proud of the team, and I think we have as good a chance as anyone to win this.
As I'm sure you remember, there are a lot of fun elements going into the Winter Royal Ice Festival. A Winter Wonderland will be created for an ice park. With that, I'm excited to say I have confirmed a very exciting, attractive opportunity to host the Winter Royal Ice Festival in the new Mosaic Stadium for December 2017. The gigantic snow and ice sculpture pieces that are being constructed for the Winter Wonderland in the festival are so grand that they will take up to 3 weeks to create. How spectacular would it be to host the Winter Royal Ice Festival in Regina's newest castle, the Mosaic Stadium?
That was my question, like, is it a week-long festival or a weekend, or is it a Thursday to Sunday?
Our intention is to do a week-long festival. And I mean, all of us have been kids at one time. Of course, we want to slide down that huge slide. I mean, all of us like to try that.
$300,000 budget is quite a large budget. How many people need to attend your event to make this a profitable event?
That's a very good question, and that is something that we would have to look further into. Yeah, I felt like this pitch was harder than the first one for some reason. I'm not sure why, but maybe I should have taken more deep breaths. I don't know.
So, Marty, you mentioned last time we were here that you wanted to see our event grow bigger. We share that vision too. So what we've done is kind of reevaluated things, and one of the ideas that we've come come to you today with is to actually start inviting Eastern schools as well. So that opens up a ton of new delegates who can come to our competition. So now we're looking at a number of 260 delegates attending. You said you wanted bigger, so here we are.
So Serena mentioned it is bigger. Bigger means more money and more hands on deck. Thankfully, we have an amazing student society behind our back.
So we want to utilize a couple of the different hotels within Regina, really show them off and get people a change of scenery as well. And then we really want to cap off this weekend with the event of its own, which is the awards gala. Really show them the royal treatment that is Regina, because it is the Queen City.
Why are you doing this, and what does it mean to you specifically?
Well, this event was actually Serena and I's idea together. We implemented it last year, so it's kind of like our baby. And we always talk about how even when we graduate, we're coming back.
I guess, yeah, the concern was making sure that it is sustainable and it
Right.
continues
Oh, yeah.
and it's not lost after the...
Our longest running event is 44 years
44
long right
years,
now,
yeah.
so there's definitely some succession planning happening there.
All right, so now you don't get the 20 grand.
Right.
Your budget's upside down. Now what happens?
So if we don't get our $20,000, the conference won't be quite as large as we had anticipated or that we're presenting to you today, but it's still going to happen. We will still be having our 3-day competition. We'll be inviting as many students as possible, and then we'll also get our corporate relations team out there trying to get as much sponsorship as possible.
So now the pitch is done. I think it went really well. I wouldn't change a thing about it at all. Really excited to see how the rest of everything goes.
For the Queen City Improv Festival, we really want to focus on our strengths and what we know, and that is improvisational comedy, storytelling, and spontaneous theater.
So in the festival itself, say opening day, you would have us, like Hitchhikers, opening the festival with, let's say, the set where we performed with the Regina Poets Society, a collaborative art set that had happened. Though in the second half, you would be able to see something like Instant Shop Theater's sci-fi drama that they have created.
We have this great opportunity of what an improv festival brings, and it's this interactive atmosphere. And to have a gala event to close out the festival is a great way to kind of have a closing ceremony for the festival, but it's also a great way to showcase our talents. We're going to see that the many improvisers from around the country that have come to perform in the festival are going to help create this interactive atmosphere, this night that's unforgettable, this night that's going to want them to keep coming back to the Queen City Improv Festival.
Forgive the pun, but I still get the sense you're making stuff up as we go here. Walk me through the business. How much is it going to cost? How much? What's your revenue streams look like? We talked about tickets, but can you just give us a little more detail?
We did a breakdown of where we thought all costs and things would go. We have the experience on the business side with running our company, with running these shows 2 a month at the Artesian. When we broke it all down, without sponsorship, and we've been talking to like sponsors as well, local businesses and stuff that kind of fit our demographic, we will break even with just with ticket sales and holding the event, because we do have these connections with the venues and stuff like that. Yeah, the actual numbers, I guess I don't have those on me right now, but.
Our heads were all in different places, and there was a couple questions that did catch us off guard that we knew the answers to, but it was just a matter of finding the answer in our mind bank and then bringing it forward, which I think we found a little bit of trouble with.
You started me thinking about 10,000 people. So Greg and I came up with an idea to take this year to 5,000. Greg?
Well, this is the new improved Mustard Fest. So we've looked at all kinds of things. The first and most important thing for us was, of course, the site selection, because we'd outgrown where we've had it, and we've had a great time there. But it was time to examine how we can grow the event, and if we're going to do that, the new site selection. So what we've done is we began conversations about having it downtown on the new plaza, having some fun down there, surrounded by restaurants, retail spaces, and hotels. Everything's within walking distance and lots of parking. So we think we have a better new site, and we're working to get that nailed down for sure with the bid.
I'd already been thinking about the great relationship we have with the Mustard Development Commission that helps us create this great media buzz about things. And I was just trying to think of ways to help the producers. So I was thinking about getting the pork producers involved. Maybe they could come and provide product for the vendors. And as we were sort of fleshing out that idea and talking it over, and it occurred to us, like, what's one of the greatest partnerships that we hadn't even thought of yet? It's clearly with the Hotels Association. If we're going to create a great partnership, what about that idea of that shop, dine, and stay idea?
We'll flip it over on its head. Instead of Canadians going down to Minot to shop, now's the perfect time for them to be coming up here and seeing what we have to offer them as a tourist destination. So,
You guys talked about moving it downtown, the venue downtown. whereabouts would that be? Do you have a tent for bad weather?
We've got all of the tenting, those sort of logistical things we've thought through. 2 years ago, we had 800 people come to Mustard Fest. It was 5 degrees and pouring rain. We got tents. But those parts of things we'll be able to handle. But the plaza, the City of Regina spent a lot of money to make this a showcase area of the city. If we're encouraging people to come.
It has power.
It has power.
It has water. It has a flat surface. It has easy access.
I think the pitch went pretty well. I think the judges might have been a little disappointed that we didn't feed them this time. I think they enjoyed that last time. But they posed some great questions, and hopefully we had the right answers.
Judges, we've done a lot of talking about magic, but it's a very visual art form. So today, I thought this gentleman standing next to me will demonstrate to you what magic is all about.
A 20, fantastic. I will take the 20, and Alana, I'm gonna give you this little bag of goldfish crackers from the the green room. What I want you to do is just crack that open if you don't mind. I'm gonna make a little tube here.
I have 2 kids, so I can do this.
Who doesn't love that? Excellent. I need to also have you just hold on to your glass of water. So if you can kind of extend that out a little bit towards me, that would be wonderful. I'm gonna go like this, take a little bit of water, and we'll take a couple of these. There we go, just like that. Ready for this? Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
You called it?
Yeah. I caught them.
Thanks for the 20.
Nice.
Good one.
The first thing that we've had discussions on is that the name Regina Cadabra doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue that easily. And the way we'll handle that is we'll look at a couple of ideas. We think we might be able to work with a focus group to determine if that's the correct name, the correct branding, the correct logo, and the correct look. The next thing I want to talk about is the Canadian Association of Magicians Conference. That event, since our last pitch, I was able to speak with one of the board members from that organization, as well as communicate with the president. And they said that they would give us strong support for bringing that event to Regina in 2018 with our festival. Now, further to that, I've talked to the Connexus Arts Center, and from 1988 to 2010, they had David Copperfield in the city 6 times. And during that 6 times, he did 16 shows of 2,000 people a show, and every single one of those shows sold out.
So when was your idea conceived, Brendan? How long have you been working on it?
When they came out with the competition for the events, I've always had so many different ideas for events, and people love magic. It's been around forever, and I just thought, in my mind, that was something that nobody's done. It's not in Western Canada. There's lots of other similar festivals in different cities, like you can have a comedy festival in every city, or things like that, whereas there's no magic festival or event out here.
So if you don't get the $20,000, what happens?
Well, I guess that's what this event does for us. It allows us to really analyze the event and see where we're, start to work on a business plan and put everything together. And definitely the $20,000 helps. But if the $20,000 isn't there at the end of the day, I think it allows us to really think about. I've already talked to a lot of people, so I got some excitement in the community, some of the hotels and some of the venues, and they're saying, hey, this is a great idea. So we should go ahead with that.
Next time on the Event of Events, the fate of the contestants is in the judges' hands, as only 3 will advance to the next round. The Event of Events, where you dream it up, and we'll help you make it happen.